Hello and welcome to Martin's Money Mutterings. My headlines this week: what to do with your old mobile phone, how to maximise getting the cash for it, recycle it dead easily with a couple of clicks. Big loophole out there, ends Sunday, you can get £10 off every £30 spend you make through Google Checkout's loophole system on 40 different retailers, things like iPods for under 100 quid, 4 gig ones, very good that one. Next, there's a new top credit card out there for spending on, not balance transfers, 0% for a year there. Bank charge reclaiming, if you're in the process, you've got to watch this one, very important. Slight strategy change going on that I need to tell you about. Savings account, new top player, whichever it is, 6.1% interest, but there's a catch, it's not for everybody. This is Martin's Money Mutterings. Oh, that was a funny pause. Let me carry on with that. I didn't know where I was going then. This is Martin's Money Mutterings. I self-evidently am Martin. The idea is simple. Each week I send out an email from the site. Look, new pretty site. It's up and running this week. You're going to look totally different if you've not been on there yet. Send out an email on the site to 1.3 million people. This is a video or audio commentary to go with it, but it isn't a standalone. So if you don't have the email in front of you right now, you need to let your fingers do the talking and go to moneysavingexpert.com/latest tip. Right, let's start. No further ado, recycling your old mobile phone. Where's mine? Oh, there we go. This isn't old, I'm not going to recycle it, but here's my prop, because obviously you don't know what a mobile phone looks like. Dead simple. There are 90 million old mobiles, it's suspected, sitting in drawers around the UK. What are you meant to do with them? Well, you could throw them away, but there's actually risk to the environment there. You can damage the water table because these things decay in a not very friendly way. Or, hopefully, you can flog it. Now, you could go on eBay, and that is generally the very best way to do it, but it's a big hassle, and there's no guarantees. But there's a range of companies out there that will take the mobile from you and give you cash. Simple as that. All you have to do, you go to their websites, you put in the model of your phone, you click it, and it will tell you how much it's willing to give you. Then, if that's the best offer, you simply press beep. It sends beep. I don't know what press beep means, but you get the point. You press beep. It sends you a jiffy bag. You put the phone in the jiffy bag. You send it to them. They send you a check. You've got the cash. Bish, bash, bosh, it's done. Now, the important thing to remember is there is no one best payer, but there are a few who are very good. And for different phones, some give more than others. So it's always worth trying 3 out there. If you're wondering what they do with the phones, simple. They sell them into the developing world where there's a different mobile phone market. They refurbish them, they sell them on. It's a very easy way to declutter. You could be talking 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 quid per phone, depending on the model. They might give you nothing. Who knows? But it's worth spending 5 minutes rummaging through your drawers. Always fun to get your old mobile phones and find out how much they're worth. The article takes you through exactly how to do that. Next, well, this one's good. Now let me explain this to you. This is a good loophole. Google, you may have heard of them, Google has a checkout system, which is its new way that you can pay for things through Google. To promote it, it's done a deal with 40 retailers. Now, there are lots of different types of retailers, but the ones that it's actually who are quite good on there tend to be electronic retailers. And what it said is, if you're spending more than £30, you'll get 10 quid off. But this isn't a one-off deal. This is every time you spend more than £30 in a single transaction. So I don't mean you're just buying one thing, I mean in one go, you'll get 10 quid off. Which means on all these websites, these electronic websites and others, which tend to be quite price competitive, if you spend 31 quid, you'll only pay 21 quid, and you can do that time and time again, although it does have a fair usage policy. So if you're doing the same shop time and time again, you might get stopped after a time. Not that I've actually heard any reports of that happening yet. But what this means is right now there are a raft of really hot bargains out there. For example, a 4 gig iPod normally costs about 130 quid. You can get it at 99 quid. Well, it's 109 quid minus the £10. Last week, lots of other MP3 players, loads of electronic and other goods out there. This ends on Sunday. Effectively, Google is subsidising your shopping. Let it. If you're going to be buying some of these things, now is the time. Have a quick look. What I've done in the link that you'll click to from the email is list some of the really good deals that are out there that you can use this for. But it ends this Sunday, so go quickly. Next on my list, right, brand new credit card on the market. No, it's an old credit card that was good, then went not so good, and is now good again. It's important to understand there are two main types of credit card 0% deal. The one I talk about most often is balance transfers. That's when you shift debt to a credit card from another credit card for a cheap rate. Well, we're not talking about that here. We're talking about a card for purchases, a card that you can spend on and the debt will be at 0%. Now, Halifax has increased its 0% length to a year again. Simple as that. You spend on this card, make the minimum payments, you will not pay any interest in the first year, which means it is a brilliant way to get short-term borrowing and spread the payments of something across a year. If you're going to need to borrow anything that you can pay for in the shop and you can pay it back within the next year, absolutely the perfect method to do it. If you can't pay it back within the next year, well, as long as you're savvy and the month before the 0% ends, which will be in 11 months' time, you simply do a balance transfer and shift the debt. Again, absolutely great way to do it. New top card, 12 months, 0%, Halifax 1. You'll find more details, again, in the article. I've said that 3 times now. I better shut up on that bit. Next, quite a serious one, bank charges reclaiming. And to be honest, I'm going to assume you understand the issues going on here because this is really talking for people who are thinking about the process. In the old days, I used to describe it like this. You write the bank a letter saying, I want my money back because you've taken it unfairly. They say no. You write them another letter threatening to take them to court. Often they'll offer you a settlement. You may take that, you may not. If they don't, you take them to court, the small claims court, and you win by default. Well, that was what used to happen, and still in the vast majority of cases that is what happens. But in a couple of cases now, even though the banks still won't go to court, a judge has ruled in favour of the banks. In other words, it's not paid out the money. No one's actually lost. They haven't lost money apart from the court fee, but it hasn't paid out the money. Now there's a judge in Hull who's looking at those two decisions, even though they don't set precedent, and saying I'm going to strike out 20 cases and I'm not going to hear them, which is a nonsense, and don't worry. Along with the Consumer Action Group, I'm paying for a QC to go and defend those people. But the point is there's a bit of a legal lottery. You take a bank charges case to court across the country, the vast likelihood is you'll win, but there's a tiny chance now you'll get a maverick judge and you won't win. What does that mean? Well, it means I need to do some thinking because my whole job is trying to get you your money and I don't want you to lose. Even though we've had hundreds of thousands of successes, I need to think carefully. And that means I've updated the article, a lot of writing, hastily done to get it in there to include a new strategy. That strategy is going to the Financial Ombudsman, who has the power to rule that the banks must pay you out. There have been no losses through the Financial Ombudsman yet. I'm slightly worried we're going to clog up its systems, but it's an alternative strategy. You need to read the article. It's been totally updated with all this information in to help you decide whether you should be going to court or the Financial Ombudsman, and then explain what you need to do, whichever one of those you take. If you're in the process, it's worth another read, quite important. Next on my list, the final one, Alliance and Leicester has launched a new savings account, 6.1%, which beats ICICI's 6.05%, except in any month you withdraw money, you don't get paid interest. And that means for virtually everybody, unless you just want to plonk your cash in and then take it out and take the whole lot out in one go, it's not worth it. Stick with ICICI at 6.05%, the best savings account. That's nearly it. Hope you liked the new site. Please give me your feedback. We're playing about with it all over the place, still tweaking it to make it perfect, but I think it's a massive improvement. You might like the new search, which uses Google, which is a lot easier because everybody understands Google, so you should be able to find exactly what you want at speed. And a final thing, congratulations, huge, enormous congratulations. At the weekend, I went to the wedding of our designer, MSE Darren, and his beautiful bride even, Charlie. They had a wonderful wedding. Congratulations to the two of you. I know you won't watch this because you're on your honeymoon, but I did want to say, well, hey, that's it. I hope you saved some money, everyone.